All right. Welcome back to the Who is Will Sims podcast. My guest today is another podcaster himself, Mr. Brett Buehler. Is it weird being on the other side when you do it so much? Like like when it's time to go, are you like ready to do your intro like from muscle memory, or are you like, oh wait, I'm the guest today?
No, I have no plan, no intro. I think I'm the opposite of Brad. I don't do any homework.
Yeah, we're gonna do something funny for his. I'm gonna put that like scream that he has at the beginning of his podcast, and I'm gonna
Nice.
cut it off and be like, "Whoa, no, wrong podcast."
Uh,
But yeah, man, uh, I've we've known each other for a couple years now. I don't know how long you've been playing in the scene, but I know you've got a lot of videos and stuff that you've been putting out over the past, 4 or 5 years.
yeah, I
Um,
think it's about
so
about that long, maybe 7 or so.
So kind of the way that I've been doing it is I've been going back to the beginning. So the first thing I like to talk about is kind of like that kind of phase where you kind of maybe like first realize how much you love music, and you're kind of getting into it. And for me, like I grew up in the '90s, so I had like bands like I had like the first Matchbox album, and so like those first three Matchbox 20 albums were big for me. And then I was into
Yeah.
Goo Goo Dolls and some stuff like that. What were like some of the stuff that you were listening to that was like kind of driving you towards that road of getting into music?
Yeah, it was definitely that stuff, but mostly it was guitar players. So once I learned like Nirvana's first album, then I just wanted to learn like all the classic rock guitarists, Hendrix and Clapton and all the blues guys. And then once I had that dialed, then I wanted to move on to like Van Halen and get that dialed. And once I had that down, I wanted to go to like the metal guys, like Dimebag and some of those dudes and Zach Wild and just kind of keep rolling from there.
How old were you when you started playing guitar?
I think like 13.
Okay. Did you do like lessons or anything, or did you just kind of pick up and start playing on your own?
At first, it was on my own, although my dad kind of helped me out a little. And then after that, it was my buddy Daniel Roberts. Give him a little shout out, who still plays as well. And he's like a virtuoso in his own right. So he was teaching me, and I learned a lot from him for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't start playing until my senior year of high school, but
Yeah.
guitar. But like as a kid, I would sing along with the songs all the time. I never had any aspirations about like being a singer until I tried to join a band, and then they were like, "You should be the singer." But
Nice.
but yeah, um, when you were like younger and playing, did you ever like doing? Were there any like groups you played in like as a kid that were kind of like like kind of like you're starting your first bands or whatever? Maybe there were like a I know some music lesson places do like camps and stuff like that. You do any
Yeah.
stuff like that?
My camp was my family band. Like I
Oh,
said, my
nice.
dad played, and then my brother played drums. And so we did have like a family band going with another guy as well as singing. So we did that for a while. A lot
Nice.
of dudes.
What kind of stuff did you do? Just covers?
Yeah,
You write
classic rock.
you write any stuff together?
No, never really wrote anything. I mean, I did have a friend that we'd jam in the garage with my brother as well, and we'd make up songs, make fun of people, but that was about the extent of it.
Nice. Yeah. Um, uh, when did you kind of start writing lyrics and stuff when did you kind of get into like the songwriting side of it?
Yeah, that was much later because I joined the fire department in like 2013 professionally, but I was in the fire department in like 18 as a volunteer. So I feel like that's the day the music died for me, where I really
Okay.
stopped playing kind of a lot. Started focusing on that stuff in school and, chicks and everything else. And, when I eventually, though, somewhere down the line, I started trying to get back into it. And I actually watched a movie called A Bigger Splash. It's an indie flick that no one's ever seen. And it was in the theater, AFI in Silver Spring. And the reason I was there is mostly because it has a bar, unlike
There
most
you go.
movie theaters around here. So despite the sometimes subpar films, at least there's beer.
Right.
So I'd go in there sometimes, just hang out on my off days. And this movie just like triggered something for me where I was like, yep, I need to get back into it. And I wasn't writing any songs prior to that, but after I watched that movie, over the course of the next month, I wrote an album. And it was almost like the universe conspired to help me out a little bit because some of the old friends came out of the woodwork to play with, and I met a cool artist who did some graphic stuff, and met a guy with a studio, and just went from there.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That it's crazy that you like, I know a lot of movies have like really deep messages like that or have those like kind of themes to them. But it's crazy you had that kind of like cathartic experience where you were like, you know what, man, I'm gonna go freaking get my stuff together here. And that's awesome. Yeah, I mean your songs are very they kind of have like a lot of modern themes to them. I think the Dispensary Kid song
Yeah.
in particular is kind of like I feel like we all know somebody like that these days,
Yeah.
and then like the Boring Day, like
Yeah.
it's just that just feels like even though we like work and stuff, it's like I can't tell you how often I'm just so like zonked out of everything. You end up sitting on your phone and just doom
Yeah.
scrolling forever just to kind of, and then you're like, man, I probably could have did something.
Yeah.
So that was kind of one of the hopes with this podcast is kind of do something more productive with my time.
I'm proud of you, man. You've taken the step. You've taken the leap of faith into the void.
Yeah, man. Well, I think yours was the one of the first ones I did. I know I've done a couple, but like I know I've done like
Yeah.
radio interviews and stuff like that. But um, yeah, like I think it's a really cool medium to get to know people because like a lot of times when you're out at shows, you
Yeah.
kind of just want to go around and say your hellos, but you never really get that much time with anybody.
Yeah, you don't
If
get an hour-long conversation or something.
Yeah, and like a lot of people I respect, like I realize I don't really know that much about them, and
Yeah.
there's a great medium to do that. So yeah, man, and so you started writing your own stuff, and I've seen you've got like plenty of videos and recordings and stuff. Where do you do a lot of your recording at?
With my buddy Felix Nieto. He runs the Hangar Studio in Columbia, Maryland. So I
Nice.
pretty much exclusively hang out with his in his domain. It's a really cool spot. It's tucked away in the woods, so a lot of people can't quite find it on their first go, which
Yeah.
I don't know if it's by design or not, but it's fun when you get there because the place is like, I don't know, it feels like you walk into like a studio in Nashville or something when you get
Nice.
in.
I know I've seen a lot of like some of the videos you've done out of there. That's a really cool spot. I definitely want to come and do some of those one time. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
but uh, but yeah, man. So that's cool because like I was going to talk about kind of like that actualization of like for me the it kind of almost didn't happen until I decided to become a solo artist of just kind of taking
Yeah,
that part of the journey and like kind of having control of it and
right.
being able to kind of do what you want. And then you've also got like the video side of it too, the part-time productions and
Hmm.
you kind of produce a lot of your own videos, which are really cool. Like I like you got like the drone shots and stuff like
Yeah,
that. You do a lot of story-based videos, which to me are like that's like the harder to pull off because you got to get other people involved, but you do
yeah.
a lot of like
Well,
like the song about getting rid of your guitars or whatever, where
Oh
your
yeah.
girlfriend got rid of your
Yeah.
guitars, like just being able to put like a story to those songs is really cool. And I think a lot of artists could benefit to have more video content like that. And I know that's something you
Yeah.
offer and have been trying to do in the scene for a while now.
Yeah,
So
for sure. People can find me online, I think, pretty easily, either through the podcast or the productions page or my band or whatever.
yeah, the the we did a couple video. Well, we did the one video together at where I work, where we had the crazy
Yeah.
lighting and stuff. But we've also you shot me a couple times at shows, and we've got some cool stuff like that. But yeah, man. What got you into like the video side of it? Was that just like something you wanted to do for the Hollow Truths thing, and then you kind of went down that rabbit hole, or is that something that you're
I
kind of
mean,
into anyway?
it started with two reasons. One is my cousin is very into cameras. So he's like our official photographer and a part of the Part-Time Rockstar Productions team. And then my drummer at the time was super into it and still is. So I learned a lot from him, but I honestly just got tired of paying him. So I was like, you know, I I appreciate everything you've done thus far, but you're charging too much, man. So I'm just gonna do this now.
It's kind of the thing, like, and I think that's the tough part about this industry is like you kind of got to figure out where to put your money, and
Yeah,
and a lot of times you're limited if you don't develop any of those skills. Like I've learned how to do video editing. I work with production stuff all the time at work, so I learn a lot about it. But
yeah,
regardless, like it's always nice to have that outside, perspective, someone kind of taking the reins and putting their
a stamp on it.
yeah, so yeah, I think that's awesome, and yeah. And then the other thing you do is you're pretty much, I know you're not right now because you kind of have an injury, but gigging musician, playing
Yeah,
out, it's like another thing that I've been trying to really work towards, because I've kind of reached that point where I'm like tired of playing these ticketed shows. It's harder
yeah,
for me to get people to come out. Everyone's got lives now. Um, so I'm trying to like kind of find another way to get out there and play and entertain people. And I know you kind of got like you've been able to keep a pretty steady schedule, but I know that that's a lot of
yeah,
work contacting people and
yeah.
and keeping up with venues and stuff.
Yeah, I don't have the greatest system in the world. I probably need like some kind of reminder thing going on because you know how it is. You got to hit people up kind of constantly, emails and everything else, just see who's booking and what's open and take some last minute things. And it gets to the point where I can't even post all my dates on calendar because I just do
Right.
so many of those little acoustic things. But kind of out of necessity. I don't think I ever like set out to do that on purpose. I just, they make some money, so why not? But it doesn't feed the soul, obviously, singing Wagon Wheel to people eating their,
Right. Right.
mac and cheese. And
That's that's one I've been able to avoid. I usually not that I have anything against the song. I've just never had any drive to learn it, and no one's ever asked me to play it.
or,
Uh,
pick your song, whatever the song that you hate the most.
I
I
mean,
don't know, Freebird or whatever else.
I've been able to avoid Freebird. I usually just tell people, I'm like, dude, it's just me with an acoustic guitar. Freebird's not gonna,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get anything out of me playing Freebird.
I
My
do
mine is
Freebird for
probably. Oh
for
yeah, go
50
ahead.
bucks.
Oh, there you go. You got a
50
little.
bucks or more. If we're with a band, then it's 100.
Yeah, I've seen
But
people that they have the list. You ask for
yeah.
this song, we'll do it, but it costs you this much. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, I usually try to address that as respectfully as possible, because it's really easy to get mad at some of those people at those shows. They come. I do that when I play at the Horse. I just get like
Yeah.
a bunch of kids up there with their phones holding it up. It'll be
Oh
like
yeah.
play Creed or play
Yeah.
Nickelback or whatever, and I'll play those songs if it's in my wheelhouse. I'll do it, but A lot
Yeah.
of times people be asking for like country stuff that I don't know,
Hmm.
or they'll be asking me to play a song and I'll just be like, they'll be like, play Smells Like Teen Spirit. I'll be like, it's not going to sound good with just me and an acoustic guitar. It's like, I'll do a
Well,
different
sometimes.
I'll do a different Nirvana song.
Well, I've adapted the strategy of the 30-second song,
Yeah.
and it actually has benefited my tip jar quite handsomely.
Oh, nice.
So, no matter what the song request is, I will do at least 15 to 30 seconds of it, a
There you
verse and a
go.
chorus, and it usually gets the people fired up and stoked, no matter how bad it sounds. And honestly, half the time, I don't think it even sounds as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
I've done like the Country Roads thing, like the chorus of Country
yeah,
Roads, and that gets everyone pumped.
exactly.
But
People
like
just like to sing, and they all have drunk fish brains, so they forget, 15 seconds later that you either did or did not do something that they liked.
yeah, you ever get people that are like mid song and they like walk up to you're like singing a song and they like
Yeah,
walk up and they're like trying to talk to you while you're singing
I
and you're just
know.
like I'll just be like looking at them like, dude, I'm singing a song right now. Like, wait.
I'll be like, "There's
Like,
the tip jar. Just get back to me when
yeah.
I'm done."
Like, yeah, like if I get to the bridge and I can lean over, I'll like, or like spot where there's like a guitar solo, I'll be like, what do you want? But yeah,
Yeah,
some people just they don't have that filter of like, this is a bad time.
yeah, exactly. Now,
But and so like when you play out with your band, you do like you throw like some of your originals in there when you play out too.
yeah, I mean, I always mix in a few originals on the cover shows, but at this point, I approach them very differently as far as the original shows and the cover shows go, as one does. And right now, our main strategy is just to play Baltimore less as original band and play Philly more, play New York City more, play some of the southern cities more, Richmond,
Nice.
Charleston, and kind of just try to develop a little bit of a following there. So that way, when we play Baltimore, it's like not every Tuesday or something,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I would definitely love to branch out. Since I don't market myself as a band, I try to approach my band members as like, almost like for hire type situation. So,
Yeah,
but asking them to go out of state to play a show is like you got to really get everyone on board for that. So I haven't done
exactly.
as much out of state stuff unless it's, like a paying gig or something where I can do something for them. But yeah, I
Well,
mean,
it took me 7 years to get there to find a band willing to
yeah.
do it. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's like just patience and like just keep working on your craft, keep working on your songs, and eventually you attract people who want to play them.
Yeah, no, I think that and maybe it's just my own insecurity about it, or like concern that like, and because I don't want to burn anyone out, and I do have a pretty substantial list of musicians to pull from if I
Right.
wanted to do something, but it's just one of those things. I don't want them to be like, why do we keep driving out of town to do these gigs? And there's always that fear you drive like 2 or 3 hours to do a gig and then nobody's there and you're just like, why
Yeah, I
do we do
mean,
this? Which
there's
we've done
definitely
it.
that.
We've done a couple times. We've had a couple that were like that, and then we've had a couple where there's like a crowd and they're really into the show, almost more than most local shows I've played around here.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, and then the other like secret to that, I guess, is when you get to a dive bar show or whatever, and there's nobody there, and you've traveled. That's where the most important band member absolutely becomes a videographer.
yeah,
Because I always say, if you didn't film it, it didn't happen, or
right,
tree
right,
falls in the woods or whatever. And that way, you still get out of town content, as the kids say, and the perception of it is worth a million whatevers,
right,
because
right. Just
people
given that
think
I,
you're doing more than you actually are, and it's like, I don't know, it's really hilarious to me how many people think like I'm playing all these places, and I'm like, bro, I pretty much just play weekenders here and there, like a few
I
shows, like different cities, but they're like, oh yeah, you're going here, you're going there. I'm like, No, not really. But
Yeah, I
the
think
perception of the internet is what it is.
yeah, I think there's like this element of almost like you got to be a little clickbaity, and it's not even like a new concept. Like I always think of like was one of those bands that like they were they were kind of pompous, and pretty full of themselves, but they would
Yeah.
just tell everyone they were the best band in the world, and it was like even
At
if
the
had
time, they sort of were.
yeah, and so like even if you kind of I've been kind of like trying to take that approach when I put like videos up or something like that, just try to make it seem like it's this big moment, and then maybe like some people will get into it in that way. And so that's kind of the
Yeah.
approach I've been trying to take with some of the content I put out. Is like this was a big deal. Like you should have been here, and kind of try to
Yeah.
try to get people like oh like man maybe stuff's happening. But yeah,
Yeah.
and but in general like I just want people to have a good time and like feel like they're having an experience when they come to a show. Whether I'm
Exactly.
playing originals or covers. Um, just want people to have a good time. We've been doing we just did the Alice in Chains versus Foo Fighters thing last night.
Oh, hell yeah. Where'd you guys do that?
We were at Crooked Crab Brewing,
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
and yeah, it's just like there's some people that are like they love Alice in Chains or they love Foo Fighters, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be either one of those singers. I'm just trying to be like a guy that's like, hey, I
You
love
do a
this band too. Let's have a good time
you do a
tonight.
pretty
And
good Dave Grohl, I think.
yeah, sometimes it works. Sometimes
Uh,
if the depending on the night, if I can't get like the scream or the growl down, it
yeah.
can it can come out. I can fall flat. But I think the we've got like the energy of the a good energy when we're playing them, so that
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah, I think as long as you're having fun as a band, that's like the most important thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's a shame sometimes, but when you're like in the corner of some brewery or something,
Yeah.
you're just rocking out, and like everyone's on like the other side of the brewery because those places are never like
Oh, they never
sound tre-
sound.
they're never
Yeah.
sound treated or whatever.
We've
But
adopted
everyone's
the
like, man,
electric kit
yeah.
for them
So
because yeah.
yeah, usually able to get my drummer to like Moon Jealous cymbals, which helps a lot.
Mm,
And then I just try to I try to surround that drum sound with, guitars and drum and bass. So it feels like a full sounding band hopefully without blowing the roof off. But, those
yeah.
places can be pretty bouncy with the acoustics in there.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, man, what do you got coming up? You got any cool video projects or music you got ready to come out?
Yeah, I got one song that is a little bit of. I feel like it's almost like an opus because it's addressing my fire department days. So I'm
Okay,
currently shopping around for anyone with a used ambulance, trying to contact all my old fire department buddies and see if we can find one for a music video
interesting.
or a fire truck or whatever. So I'm working on that. That song just kind of addresses all my, PTSD slash whatever sort of stuff going on behind the scenes with all that. And it's got like a country vibe to it for sure, but it kind of fits my like baritone vocal style. So that one should be out in the next, definitely by February, but maybe sooner. I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine being in that line of work, you've probably seen some shit.
Oh yeah, every type of shit, literally,
Have
figuratively, been
have
shit
you had
on.
to have you had to go into like some burning buildings and stuff like that?
Yeah, I wasn't a firefighter primarily. I was as a volunteer, uh, but then I kind of ended up specializing just on the ambulance as a paramedic.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So,
I know there's like different fields you can end up in, so I wasn't sure if you were like kicking doors into
yeah,
burning buildings or if you were like the hose guy but yeah, it sounded
yeah,
like you're doing
only
more like
like,
EMT stuff.
yeah, I was only really doing like small fires, car fires. I never really got in a big ass blazer per
Yeah.
se, but it wouldn't have necessarily been my first choice either. Dark spaces and lots of smoke and heat. I tell you, it doesn't really matter if you're wearing that gear. Sometimes when
Yeah,
when that fire's hot, when it's cooking, man, you feel like you're also in the oven.
I
So,
believe it.
um,
Yeah, I've noticed a
but
lot of on 695. I see a lot of, we call them barbecues, me and
yeah,
my
exactly.
brothers. But yeah, when
Yeah.
someone's car just bursts into flames.
What's funny about those, I learned when I was new, was the sound of tires exploding. I was
Yeah,
not accustomed to that
I guess
phenomenon.
I guess when
So
they
you
heat
walk
up,
up,
they get
they explode. It sounds like louder than a gunshot, like louder than a AR-15 or 30-06 or whatever. So it'll scare the living piss out of you.
uh,
If you're not expecting it, you're just walking up with the hose or whatever, put it out, and then bam, you're like, oh my god, what was that?
do you even know like what causes cars to like burst like that? Did somebody like spill gasoline over their car and then drive it, or is it like something where they just haven't changed their oil in like 8 months and it's starting to heat up or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do that.
If I was a mechanic, I could probably explain to you what goes wrong exactly. But
I wasn't sure if there was like
I
something like some dude, threw his, whatever. I don't know.
I assume it's
Dropped his
overheating
bottle
and
of vodka on his engine and tried to drive
nah,
away. I don't know.
it's something internal. I think people don't change their oil probably, or I don't know. It just runs bone dry and overheats, and next thing you know, it's a Christmas tree.
Yep. Well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I'll probably put one of your songs at the end here if you're cool with that.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, the you got the Part-Time Rockstar Podcast, so people can go check that out. We got the Hollow Truths, your band, and then the Part-Time Rockstar Productions, which is like the video side of what you do. Is there anything else you got going on you want the people to know about?
Um, Mostly just feel free to hit me up because most people probably listen to this either know me or have some familiarity with something maybe that I do. And a lot of people I know have new music coming out themselves, so I'm always looking for guests myself for shows. So
Yeah,
if they're
yeah. Reach
interested in
out.
that,
Go
feel
be
free to
on
hit me
the
up.
go be on the Part-Time Rockstar Podcast because
Yeah,
I've done it twice now. I'll probably be back on at some point. So
definitely. Let me know when you got new shit coming out, and I'll get it slated.
you got it. I think next year my goal is to release a new song every month, but
Wow.
we'll see how that goes. Like I'm trying to get everything finished. I've got an EP I'm trying to get finished. So once the audio for that's done, then I can start planning it. But you know how it
It's
is.
cool.
1 month
Yeah.
turns into 3 months, and then you're like, wait a minute, why is this taking so long?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I appreciate your time and having me on, and it's cool to see that you're starting a little new project here. So hopefully it takes off and you get a few guests, and obviously let me know if you want more guests too. I could probably help you there too. So
Yeah. We got the group thing. You got the Part-Time Rockstar group, so I'm sure we could probably make something work.
right on.
Cool, man.
Well, I hope you have a good
Uh,
rest of your day, weekend, all that. And if you need anything from me, MP3s, waves, flyers, logos, just let me know. I'll send them over.
you got it, man. All
So,
right, man.
well,
Thanks
if I don't
again.
see you till after Christmas or New Year's, happy Christmas, Kwanzaa, and New Year's.
Yeah. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
All right, dude.
All right, man.
See you.
Follow the video link now to watch the music video for the Hollow Truths song Dispensary Kid.